my wonderful KCET champions out there. I hope all my dear children are doing fine. Children, do you realize that we are in the month of October and within 2 to 3 months, this year is going to end? And then we have PU2 board examination, we have JEE, if at all someone is writing JEE, and then KCET, COMEDK, this and that, so many things. So the ride is going to be adventurous from now on. And I also hope that you realize that if we plan these 2 to 3 months strategically, everything that is going to come ahead of us, my dear children, would be less adventurous and more easy. I really want to make it easy for you guys, which is why I'm here with this particular video. Among you guys, I hope every one of you who is watching this video is preparing for KCET, right? Now, some of you might think it's very easy examination. I would study it towards the exam, okay, after my PU2 boards, after everything is being done. Some of you might think that I will only study it basically after my JEE examination, if at all it's needed. I don't think it's needed. Anyway, JEE is what an advanced exam and things like that. Now, for some, you might feel that, oh my God, it's too difficult. I cannot even think of it as of now. I do not know how I'll manage. So I'm here to clear that confusion. And I'm pretty sure after watching this video, you will have a different plan of action for the next 2 to 3 months. If you're in, then definitely let me know in the comment section that, ma'am, yes, I'm going to watch the whole video. And if at all you watch the whole video and if you think that it was useful, definitely let me know that as well. Okay, so to clear that up, first of all, we need to discuss a bit about KCET examination. I need to tell you what is it about, right? The basics of it. So obviously the mode is offline. Okay, it can be in English or Kannada depending on what language you're comfortable in. It will be completely in the form of MCQs. You would get 1 hour 20 minutes per session. So for physics there will be a session, for chemistry a session, it goes like that. Okay, so almost 1 hour 20 minutes. In that you do not get the entire time to solve the question paper, you get just 70 minutes. And how many questions are there? You have 60 questions. So 60 questions in 70 minutes, you would have a time of around 1 minute 10 seconds. Okay, 1 minute 10 seconds per question, but I'm telling you, you won't get that time entirely because you have to read that question, you have to do it. So it's not as easy as you might think and not as difficult as you might think as well. I'll come to that. So anyways, so over here I have the timetable that was followed the previous year. So on 16th of April 2025, you had physics and chemistry. From 10:30 to 11:50, it was physics of 60 marks. Then again, it was chemistry of 60 marks. Then on Thursday, you have mathematics 60 marks. If someone has taken biology, if you're inclined to go to BSc nursing and things like that, my dear children, you would have to take biology. Then again, 60 marks for bio. Now, KCET marking scheme is that you get +1 marks for all the correct answer and 0 marks for all the wrong answer. So, ma'am, there is no negative marking? Oh my God, such an easy examination is what you might be thinking. Now, let's get ahead into one more very important thing. How is your KCET rank calculated? Is it just dependent on how well you perform on the day of your KCET examination? The answer is no. Why? Because 50% credit is given to KCET and 50% is your PU2, which means that you have to focus on your PU2 as well and your KCET. Suppose your marks go down over here. I'll give you an example. So physics is 80 out of 100, chemistry 90, math it's 85. The total is 255 out of 300. It comes to be 85%. Now if you take 50% of 85, it comes to be 42.5. But if at all it's not 85%, it's around 65%. Then 50% of 65 would be what? Around 30, something like that. You get it? So your percentage over here is going down. If at all you're not going to perform well in your PU2 examination. Now what about your KCET examination? Your marks are calculated like this: physics 40 out of 60, chemistry 35 out of 60, maths 45 out of 60, 120 out of 180. Percentage of it is taken at 66.6. Again 50% of it would be what? 33.3%. Then both of it is added and that's the final percentage that you get, and depending on it, your rank would be determined. This is how it goes. Now, I hope you have the basic idea of the examination. Now, we can think of whether it's easy or difficult. First of all, why is it considered to be easy? Some people definitely think like that. Because there is a syllabus overlap with what PU2. You don't have to study something extra. The best part of the story is what? That it would be completely NCERT based. So it's your NCERT which you have to refer, no 10,000 books. It's not coming to this point directly, it is not what you call unpredictable. It is more predictable when it comes to what? When it comes in terms with JEE and NEET. JEE and NEET is less predictable, but KCET is more predictable because it is strictly NCERT based. Okay, and there is no negative marking, as I said, so you can attempt all the questions. You can just give your tukka, okay, but you can definitely attempt the questions, which is why KCET can be considered to be easy. But on the other hand, there is one more point. Why is cracking KCET hard? The second point is that there is wide syllabus coverage. It's not just PU2, it's also PU1. Basically, you have to do great in your PU2 because your marks are dependent on that also partially. And you have to focus on your PU1. Why? Because in KCET, both of them are going to come together. It's a mix of this and this, my dear children. So you have to focus on both. And you do not have that much time left. So we are in October, okay, 3 months. And then you have your pre-board starting from January. And then your practicals and then your boards and this and that. When are you planning to cover both PU2 as well as your PU1? Now, if you do not practice both, your KCET marks will go low. So that's a problem. Now, competition factor. There are almost 3 lakh students who tentatively participate. So previous year, 3 lakh students participated in KCET examination for 1 lakh seats. So competition is very high. Okay. And if you think, if it's easy, exam is easy for you, it will be easy for someone else also who studied the same thing, my dear children. So in that sense, the competition would be even more higher. Next is time pressure. 60 questions in 70 minutes. I already told you, do not get too much time. For each questions out there, you have to be really fast, and while being fast, you have to be accurate as well. Second thing, as I said, it's an overlap between boards. So if you try to just focus on your KCET examination, you try to include PU2 and PU1 all throughout the year in January, February, March and everything like that, my dear children. If you still focus on your PU1, if you do not have a right strategy, what will happen, my dear children? You won't be performing well in your boards, because you are trying to include both of them, because you want to perform well in KCET examination. So this is why it becomes hard as well. So now, ma'am, you have said that it is easy and it is hard both. No, I am saying it's neither too easy or nor it is impossible. When does it become like this? When you have a perfect strategy and when you have consistency. So having a strategy is one thing, following that consistently is what? Another thing. So if you have both of it together, my dear children, what you are going to do? You are going to perform really, really well and you are going to ace it. Now, for those of you who are feeling tensed as of now when I said all of this thing, I was just being practical. I was just telling you what you needed to know. Okay, but you don't need to be sad. Why, my dear children? Because you have that realization as of now on this particular date, and you have few months left in front of you to to correct the mistakes that probably you might have done, of wasting the time, of doing this, doing that, of not having a proper strategy, of studying more of the chapters you liked, but not studying the chapters which were difficult for you, but were of high weightage. You get it? There are so many things there. And now I am here to tell you that you still can do it, because you have watched this video and you know that you are not going to be stranded. And you know what? We have brought one very important thing for those children who feels that we need guidance throughout each and every single thing. So that is KC90 for you guys. So it's a 90-day crash course. Let me tell you, it's an offline course. It would be happening at Deeksha campuses, that is at Bangalore, my dear children, so offline campuses of the Deeksha. It will be taking place. We are trying to prepare you for both the examination, it's KCET as well as COMEDK, because both of them are focusing on the best colleges of Karnataka. And the colleges which are really good in Karnataka, they also, few of them also come under what? The top 100 colleges of India as well. My dear children, I always tell this, one very famous college that we all know is RVC. For everyone, it's a dream college. Why? Because children who come out of that, my dear children, the previous year, the highest package was 56 LPA. It tend to increase later on. But anyway, what I remember, it was 56 LPA. You being a fresher, getting an amount like that is incredible. And I'm not saying everyone gets 56 LPA. That was the highest package. But at least that's the standard of the college. You will get something really, really good. Do you want to be in a place like that, then you have to put on your hard work. And if you need our help, my dear children, you can do it by your own. I'm not telling you cannot do it. You can definitely do it by your own. But if at all you think that you need our help, we are here to help you out with KC90. If at all you want any more details about the course, like fee structure or the timings and everything, you can call to this number, or you can also go to this particular website. Remember, as of now, there is a flat 3,000 rupees off. Until some date, I do not know the exact date, but it's there. So please make sure you're going through it once. Okay, and that's all. Now, for those children who have no idea that what should I be doing, this is the plan. So it's October, November, December, Jan and Feb, March and April. October is a month where you can focus on your PU2, 60% of your PU2. I believe for a lot of you guys, your midterm examination might be ongoing or going to come or might have been over. So when you're preparing for your midterm, prepare it nicely such that that much portion is anyway completed. And in that sense, you have to include a little bit of your PU1 chapters as well. When I say that please include PU1 chapters, I try to mean that study the chapters, solve the PYQs. Watch a one-shot and solve the PYQs. You should not be investing too much time on your PU1 chapters. Not too much, but that does not mean you should leave them as well. No. So previous year, almost like 40 questions came in physics from PU2, 20 came from PU1, but that also determines your rank, you get it? So you have to accommodate it. 30% of your PU1 try to complete it by this particular month. Okay, and whenever you prepare for your PU2 or your PU1, my dear children, KCET question practice is one very thing that you cannot neglect. You have to anyway incorporate it. For PU2, you would have to, after studying PU2 chapters, you would have to do KCET PYQs and also PU2 PYQs, so that you do good here and this can show effect in your KCET as well. Okay, in PU1, you can just focus on one shot and then KCET. That's all. Fine. So 60% of PU2 is completed there, then 80% should be completed by November. Over here, PU2 is just 20%. Okay, I'm not taking too much of PU2. Why PU1? Why? Because over here you're coming nearer to boards, and I do not want you to spend too much time on your PU1. So only 20% of PU1 which is there, you can complete it over here. Then in the month of December, only 10%, if at all you can, and by this month of December, you should complete the whole of your PU2. Why? Because by January, you would be having your pre-boards. And when you are going to give pre-boards, this should be like what you call the first attempt that you give for any examination. Take it as seriously as the boards. Try to cover as much as you can, the theory part of it. And while you do so, try to include at least few KCET PYQs. I'm not saying that you should be full-fledged going on KCET, studying KCET in the month of January, because I know you have your pre-board examination, you might be a lot of other things as well ongoing. So just to have the hang of KCET, include 5 to 10 question practice every single day, if at all you can, per subject. Okay, at least 5 questions per subject so that you have a hang of it. Okay, now February is what? The month for your PU2 practicals. So obviously you have to focus on that because that also determines your percentage. Okay, and now while you do so, prepare really well for your PU2 board examination, which is going to come over here in the month of March. Again, over here also try to include little bit of KCET questions. Every single now and then, little bit of KCET questions would make you be in touch with the the type of questions and everything which is there. Otherwise, you will tend to forget it. Now in the month of March, no KCET, only strict focus on your board examination. Give your 100%, give your best. That's all. And once your exams end by the 20th of March or 22nd of March, my dear children, you can quickly shift your focus toward KCET. And now when you shift your focus to KCET during this particular time, that is from March to April, you have to understand one thing. You have to focus on the PU1 chapters which are still left, because for PU2 you have become ultra pro. Why? Because you just gave your boards. Now for your PU1, try to include the chapters which are left, which are of high weightage, and start giving KCET mock tests. Okay, complete question paper mock test. In that sense, my dear children, you will get to know, are you able to attempt the questions within the limited time range which is there. So please do that. Okay, done? So that's it. And after that, if you want the daily study plan, as of now, try to include 4 to 5 hours in your day for study. for just studying, my dear children. In between that, make sure you're taking breaks and everything. I do not know if at all you're a night person or a morning person. Depending on whatever type of personality you have, you can channelize the time. I'm just saying have 4 to 5 hours in which you give 2 hours for each subject. For subject 1, 2 hours, and for subject 2 again 2 hours. Now how are you going to divide this 2 hours? 1 hour among this, okay, 1 hour out of this should be just for understanding your concepts. For that, if you do not have much time, please refer to the one-shot videos that we have also done over here. We have a whole masterstroke series where we have given the one-shot videos. You can watch it entirely. It will be enough for you guys. Okay, so after having your after understanding the concepts really well, my dear children, what are you going to do? You're left with 1 more hour. This 1 hour you're going to break down into 30 minutes. 30 minutes for what? 30 minutes for PU2 PYQ practice. That came the previous year. You can utilize the question bank or the previous year question paper, previous year model papers, and try to start solving. Choose 5 questions and write the answers. Don't write the entire answer, just write the key points. But have that. Choose those questions and try to solve it. This gives you an idea of lot of things. Okay, and the next 30 minutes should be strictly focused for your KCET practice. Now the same thing would be going for what? Subject number 2 as well. So if at all you want the day break, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday you can focus on physics and chemistry. Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday you can focus on what? Math as well as biology. Biology if at all someone has, otherwise you can give that time to what? Mathematics. And you can, if you are taking mathematics alone, you can use the next 2 hours for something else. Okay, your PU2 academic subjects, for example language or things like that. If you want to complete some work from your school, you can do that as well. And Sunday should be what? Rapid revision time, where you whatever you studied in a week, you're gonna revise it all together once, okay, on the day of Sunday. And while you're revising, how do you need to revise? By solving questions, not the revision, not the general revision. So basically open the KCET PYQ book and start solving questions from the concepts that you have studied. This is what you call as revision. So ma'am, in between Monday to Sunday I'm not going to revise anything. No, it's not like that. I always tell, whenever you study a concept, make sure you're trying to put it down in a single page. Why? Because this page would be very much enough for you to revise later on. So this is the 1-page summary that you have. Now in a gap of every 3 days, it just takes 5 minutes of your time to recollect everything which is given in the paper. So within a gap of every 3 days, try to revise it. So Monday I studied physics and chemistry. I have 2 sheets like this. On Wednesday, my dear children, what do? I refer to this 2 sheets out there. Okay, so in that way you can do. Same thing goes for mathematics. You can have formula sheets, my dear children. You will remember the formulas even more better, right? Please do that. Okay, so that's your daily study plan. Now going ahead with the bonus tip which is there, the path to excellence, the study protocol that you need to follow. So whenever you study PU2, as I said, make a 1-page summary and refer to these sheets within a gap of at least 3 days for what? Boosting memory. Do not just wait for Sundays for revision. Sunday revision is by solving what? KCET PYQ. That is your revision. Now when you are solving KCET, that is when you are talking about the competitive aspect of this, my dear children, solve at least 15 questions per subject each day. So in the 30 minutes gap that you are having, 15 questions are to be solved compulsorily. You can solve more, but at least 15 questions are what? Compulsory. Because 30 minutes, 15 questions, not a big deal, right? You should be actually solving 30 questions per 30 minutes. That would make sense. Okay, so if at all you're solving 15 questions, please keep a 15 minutes timer as well. Now that's what I have written, that is you should be having a time-based practice, and also please maintain an error book. Why do you need to maintain an error book? This gives you an idea where are you getting things wrong again and again. Now when you have an idea, you will make it correct later on. So please write it. I'll tell you the normal scenario. We do a mistake, oh I did a mistake, I'll try to correct it, done. And then on the day of examination, I think that, oh, same type of question came, I do not know what I did. So if at all you have an error book, what you do is write down the question number, where did you go wrong, and then you refer to it. Now you're telling your brain that, okay, listen, here you did a mistake, you do not have to do it again. That is the thing. So please maintain an error book as well. Now maximize your learning efficiency by dedicating time for both concept building as well as KCET. Both of them you have to manage it together, and then your KCET examination would be becoming super easy for you guys. Now, if you think that whatever I said made some sense out there, if you think that it helped you to get a clarity on a lot of things, what do you have to do? Click on the subscribe button right now and share it with your friends also who are in need, my dear children. There are so many people who have no idea, or as in what should they be doing at this particular point of time. So please share it with your friends. And if you're in, okay, if you think that you are gonna do whatever I said, put it down in the comment section. In for 1000 rank. So that's all. Wishing you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.